Good morning and welcome back to it, the Now Morning Show, where we did some giveaways, but we're going to bless you even more because my next guest is going to be giving some gift certificates or vouchers, if you will, so that you can benefit from Reputation Management Caribbean Limited. Lisa and Joseph, the managing director, joins us this morning as we continue the conversations of empowering women through strategic communication. Good morning and welcome to the Now.
Oh gosh, good morning. Thank you.
I am glad that you're here because when we talk about empowerment, it's almost like a buzzword that has kind of lost its meaning now. You definitely have to look at your personal brand, whether you are a public figure or not. And I think when we hear words like strategic communication, we think more corporate. Tell us how we can incorporate that into our individual existence, the individual or personal brands that we all are.
Yeah. Great. So thanks for having me and good morning. Happy International Women's Day
in advance,
to you,
yes,
and,
to you as well.
and the viewing public. Yeah, I mean, the thing with strategic communication is more organizational in nature, but we can simply transit that to the personal ability of women in the workplace or at home, wherever you operate. So it's the theme of International Women's Day is accelerate action. So how do women look at their personal growth and development and build their brand to establish themselves whatever space that they're in?
Right. And in that case, we have to talk about, of course, equality and resources and all of those things. But let's simplify it. If we are talking about a woman at the helm, a woman in the office space, it might be easier to relate. What are the things we should look at when communicating our brand identity then?
Well, think of what you want to communicate. Because let me tell you, if you don't really think through what you want to communicate and how you wish to communicate it, it will still be done for you. Whether you do it or not consciously, it will unconsciously still be created for you. So why not make a conscious effort to develop and transition, if you wish to, or remain however you wish to,
right,
with what you are comfortable with and what you want it to be, and work with that.
Now, easier said than done, because that would require some introspection. That would require being really honest with yourself. And to some people, that is a little bit painful or uncomfortable.
It is.
Now, you, however, will be able to do this because that's exactly what your institution does. Tell me a little bit as to what a person can expect when they perhaps win themselves or earn themselves one of those vouchers.
Right. So we sit and we talk about what are your plans? And a critical question that I ask anyone, and this is for organizations because I deal more with executives and CEOs, but as I said, this can be easily transitioned to individuals. What legacy would you want to create and would you want to leave? Everyone has a legacy, whether you like it or not. It's just inevitable. How do you wish to shape that legacy?
This is me thinking of mine immediately.
I saw the thought crossing your mind. And that's the thing. What legacy do you wish to leave? And you have to build it. You have to shape it. So if you are uncomfortable with what you're doing, maybe now is the time to make that shift. If you're happy with it, then great. But you have to think through this. So that is the start of the conversation.
Right.
What type of legacy you want to create. And then we talk about the steps in creating that legacy. If you're a manager or anyone that has people to supervise, what kind of supervisor, manager, executive you wish to be.
Right.
What kind of tone you wish to have, what kind of personality, how do you wish to go about doing this?
Now, in terms of the consultations, these are, I imagine, ongoing because you will change over time. You might accomplish that goal you initially set out, and then what's next? Are these things that we can, or is there a strategy that we can develop one continuously, or do we have a 5-year plan? When we talk about these opportunities, or the consultation with you, that is, are we looking at options for long-term, short-term, ongoing? What does it look like?
We take it in buckets. You know,
Buckets.
you have to, sometimes people are overwhelmed when you start to think long term because all they can see right now is right in front of them.
Right.
And it's not a good idea to push them to think further when at this point this is all that they can do.
Okay.
So you work with them and you say, okay, let's look at your short-term goals, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And then we build from there. And that's the same thing I do with organizations too, in terms of helping them develop their reputation and branding.
Lisa, and tell us some of the institutions that you've worked with, just to give some insight and context. Any specific field or across a few?
Yeah, so I am known for public relations and crisis communications. I have been in business. My firm is Reputation Management Caribbean, and we have been in business for the last 17 years. A lot of our clients are international and regional based.
Right.
We do have quite a few large clients locally as well. Basically, we work with large clients because of what we do and because of the sensitivities associated with crisis communications. So that's basically it. But my role, I see my role and responsibility outside of dealing with organizations to help individuals develop, because we have it's a passion of mine, and furthermore I like to help women develop and grow individually and to achieve what they need to do. You know,
sure.
so it's so that's the passion project of mine, and then the commercial arm of the business would be the large organizations.
Now, we could safely say women are in crisis the world over. Because we have these continuous conversations, we have reached the point of taking action. As a professional at the helm and a woman, what sorts of advice would you give to a woman aspiring to hold such a position? What sort of strategic communication plan would you roll out for them? If you were to give us like 5 points, if you will, how can we get ourselves out of the crisis that we're in right now?
Well, it really depends on where you are at in your growth and development. If you are an entrepreneur or you've just started your business, that's one point. But if you are in an organization and you wish to move within the organization or move elsewhere, some of the things that you have to look at is how do I position myself for the next step? You know, that saying where you don't dress for the part that you're in, you dress for the part that you aspire to.
Right.
So where do you wish to go in your journey, whatever your journey is?
Right.
And begin to position yourself for that. So begin to surround yourself with a network that will help you get to those points. Why stay within the current network that doesn't help you, if that is the case, of course, but look for mentors. And mentors don't have to be mentors in all sorts of different things. You can have a mentor that can help you in a specific area.
Right.
It doesn't have to be an all-rounded mentor. So you can have various mentors for various work streams, as they say in an organization. So look for those mentors to help you. Ask people, talk to people and ask them, can you help me develop my brand? Can you help me develop my spokesperson skills?
Right.
Can you help me develop myself to interact better with my team,
Right.
my presentation skills, my public speaking skills? I'm sure you get these types of questions all the time because you're a public figure.
Right.
So and the same. I'm not a public figure like you, but I get asked a lot quietly in terms of how can I develop myself within my work environment, and networking. Identify mentors, approach people who can help you. Let others know your plans.
I like that.
Because we are not telepathic. if you tell me that you are interested in a project, then I will know that you're interested in a project. But if you don't tell me and you expect me to know, then I can't. So you have to also communicate. You have to tell people.
Speak up.
Speak up, speak up. Position yourself in the boardroom or in the decision-making table. Sit in a spot where you have line of sight with the decision makers. A lot of women tend to sit in other spots where they are unseen. You have to sit in a spot where you are seen. You have to speak up in those spaces. So those are things that and many others, of course.
Of course, and many of them you will actually have access to, because we are going to be able to make that happen with some vouchers that she's so graciously gifted us this morning. Lisa and Joseph, of course, the Managing Director of Reputation Management Caribbean Limited, making sure that women everywhere have access to accelerated action through your coaching and opportunities. We're going to make sure that they take advantage of that throughout the show today, so we will have another call-in segment as we've run out of time. But once they answer some simple questions, we'll be booking some options for you.